Can you have more than one target audience? Today, I want to talk to you about how to manage multiple audiences effectively and why it's crucial for your business to implement this strategy that keeps your marketing and your messaging on point. It's extremely important to have one clear message, one marketing message that moves forward. And if you have multiple audiences, that's really hard to do. I know you've been struggling with it, trying to pull in, but I serve men and women, but I serve 25-year-olds and 65-year-olds. I serve mothers and fathers. Whatever your multiple audiences is, it can feel really overwhelming trying to speak to them all. So today we're going to jump into how to make things clear and move forward so that you can bring it all together into one target audience. Okay, so let's jump into it. The question is, can you have more than one target audience? The simple answer, the short answer is yes, of course. But you have to have a strategy behind it, and that's what I want to talk to you about today. I want to make sure that you are avoiding the pitfalls and the dangers that come with having multiple audiences and how we strategize around that to bring them into one core message. You have a confusing message, your marketing is scattered, and your focus feels a little all over the place, right? Because you're talking to audience A over here and then talking to audience B over here, right? And you have them completely separate. There is a way to bring them together into one piece, and I have developed the composite client strategy that will help you do that and keep all of your messaging clear, concise, and moving forward so that people will raise their hand and say, that's me. So that you really understand the importance of this, I want to dive for a minute, really a little deeper into that split focus and what happens. I don't know if you know this about me, but I used to be a high school math teacher. So we work in percentages all the time. And none of us are 100% really great at anything, right? We're always 95, 98, even at the stuff we're really, really good at. So we're doing one thing focused, 98% effective, right? The minute I add something else to it, even if I do that at 98% effective as well, together, I'm less effective than my 98%. So the more things you add to your plate, the less and less effective you get. So that's why it's crucial, and I can't stress enough to bring this all in to one focus and one target audience and ideal client. So we're going to use my composite client method to do that. Now, I know you've heard people tell you, just niche down, right? It's their solution to everything because it is the easiest solution to this split focus, right? It is the easiest one. But all of the multi-passionate entrepreneurs I know feel like you're taking a piece of them away if you ask them to niche down, if you ask them to ignore that side. So I don't want to ask you to do that, right? I want us to show up who we are authentically in all of us. Here's the good news. You're a multifaceted, fully formed human being, and so are your clients, right? So we get to talk to different pieces of them and bring it all together. That's the crux of what Composite Client does. So instead of niching down to one thing, we're going to pull it all into one person. I am a proponent of the single ideal client profile. And that single ideal client profile is a fully formed, multifaceted, multi-hat wearing person, just like you are. If you're a person who doesn't want to niche down, who feels like that's showing up inauthentically, who feels like that's leaving a part of you behind, there's a better way. It's the composite client way. So I want to give you an example of this after I give you a couple of steps to think through as you're pulling into your ideal client profile. So number one is think about your clients. What do they have in common? What are the things that they all seem to have that for some reason it compels them? Maybe it's in the psychographics, maybe it's in their why. Maybe they're all impact driven, right? Maybe they all come from a certain background. Whatever it is that they have in common, I want you to write those things down. Second, I want you to think about the offers that you have, even if they're in different spaces. And think about what they must have. This isn't what they could be, it's what they must have in order to take advantage or need those offers that you're providing. And then lastly, I don't want you to worry about the differences. There are always going to be differences. In fact, I know some of my clients say, but I serve women and men. I'm like, great, pick one, right? The person that we're talking to is going to be one of those. So let me give you an example of this. I want to use a photographer as an example because they have multiple different products that they offer in the same way. If they're a branding photographer, they do boudoir. They also do families and maternity. So now we need to think about what must be true for her ideal client profile to take advantage of all of those things. So for branding, she must be a business owner. For boudoir, she is most likely a woman. For maternity, she is young and pregnant. For family, she must have children, right? So if we bring all those pieces together, we have a business owner who has kids, who's pregnant, and who wants to feel beautiful when she is. That's the idea behind Composite Client. So even if you have things that seem vastly different, I'm not going to say it's easy to pull them together. I'm not going to say it's easy to find the thread of commonality, but I promise you it can be done. If we can find your composite client, your unified client, the one person that can use all of the things that you sell, then all of a sudden, you know exactly who you're talking to. You have a clear, unified message. You have clear, concise marketing. And you know the offers to create next because you know exactly what they need. Your clients are multifaceted, real people. People are complex. This strategy addresses that. And I want to give you a bonus tip really quick. If you know exactly who this person is, you can run all your new ideas of new offers, of things that come next through this ideal client and know if it's the thing they're gonna need next. That you're gonna know if it's gonna serve them. I want to tell you a story about another photographer who had a very different audience from the one I was just explaining to you. Because this offer would have worked for the woman who had small kids and was pregnant. But this photographer's audience was older women with older kids. She hadn't created any audience that had small children. But one day she decided it would be really fun to do Santa pictures at Christmas time. So she bought the set. She spent all this money on all the props. She hired a Santa Claus and sold one session because she didn't expand outside of her current audience, and it didn't fit the audience she already had. If she had run this new idea, this new offer, through who her target audience was, she would have saved herself a lot of money and a lot of time. I mentioned to you that creating this composite client wasn't easy, but it's definitely doable. So if you're a multi-passionate entrepreneur and you're trying to figure out how to create an ideal client that needs everything that you have to offer, I want you to check out my Composite Client Workshop. It is one of many things that is included in my Multi-Passionate Entrepreneurs Playbook. You can find that at playbook.heatherrosson.com. It will help you step by step through this process so that by the end of it, you are super clear. You know exactly who you're talking to. It'll ensure your messaging strategy, your marketing strategy, and your sales strategy will reach the exact audience that you want it to. So you'll find the link in the description. Go ahead and check that out now.